If you've been active on Roblox, then chances are you probably know characters such as Mafioso, Gubby,
I need to get a new Gooby, but which one is Gooby? Oh, I know. This two are Gooby, and this one is a Toby Fox.
How dare you call me Toby Fox?
Ah!
or perhaps you know him. All those characters were popularized by Forsaken and their collab skins from a game called Frozen Soul, also known as Dream Game, but unfortunately, they were removed due to some drama. I got curious on the game they're from and found out that it is an adventure puzzle game involving dreams, hence getting the name Dream Game. Upon further inspection, I realized that it has a lot of badges, making it a game genre that I like. So in today's video, I will be getting all Frozen Soul badges, starting with the easiest ones and working my way up. The game has a total of 26 badges, but 2 of them seems to be unobtainable, so we will only focus on the other 24. The game recommends that you should go on a blind playthrough without any help unless you get really stuck, so I will try my best to do that and maybe open up the wiki if I'm struggling. When you first join the game, you will spawn on this small island with a house and you're given 4 items. A crowbar that lets you teleport to your bed, an emote system, an attack, and a grab. So I head out to actually play the game by going to bed and start dreaming. My first dream was kinda odd. It was just an island with an NPC and a bunker with zombies, but I have no idea what to do with them because my fists just aren't doing enough damage. There was also a maze with some locked rooms and this weird shop that doesn't really provide me anything. Eventually, I found something interesting in the distance, but if I go too far, there are guards that will shoot me down. I was kind of lost and got no progress until I punched this NPC. I got teleported into a cave, and after continuing to explore by following the arrows, I found myself in this giant map. Now, unlike the place before, this dream actually has something inside, which is a pickaxe, but it doesn't appear in my inventory or anything. But when I clicked it, someone called Nashtora starts speaking, so we might actually be playing the main character. I then found another pickaxe which also did nothing. After more exploring, I found creatures that are completely useless, and eventually I was stuck because to continue, some parts of the map are just inaccessible due to my jump being low, except for a waterway that goes opposite of your direction. The water was so strong that the distance you get is astronomically low, but I decided to just push through in hopes of finding something. Because at the end of it, there seems to be a turn, and after a long time of holding my space and W button, I finally reached it, and to my surprise, it was another line but way longer than the previous one. I tried to keep going, but it was just taking too long, and eventually I gave up. After that, I was just done with this dream and woke up. I walked a total of 88,000 studs and came back with no badges. Hopefully the next dream would be better. On the next dream, I brought a friend with me and we got teleported to the sea. Then right off the bat, something interesting occurred. Why did everything become rusty?
You just destroyed everything.
But aside from that, nothing really happened except for some dialogues, this odd orb that I cannot reach, and this compass which said that it added coordinates but it didn't really do anything, so we decided to wake up and sleep for another dream. Now, unlike the previous one, this dream actually caused me to get my first badge. I also found out that the top part of the leaderboard is the dream name, with studs being the currency of the game, and repos is something you get from presents and every time you wake up from a dream, although I'm still a little bit unsure of what it does, except for the secret area behind the waterfall that lets me donate it. We explored the map quite a bit. It was extremely beautiful, especially this area. But the things that stood out the most were this crystal with the description of signaling activation area, but we simply used it as a light source. There's also this arcade machine that starts an interaction. When you click it, there will be an option to get teleported, and obviously I accepted, which caused me to get teleported to another game, and apparently our character is switched to Nashtora, so I guess it confirms that she is the main character that we're playing. But addressing the elephant in the room, there's a boss in front of us. After defeating it, I got the badge with 40,000 winners, which is not bad at all, and I think that I can get all the badges in the game. The next dream I got was called Tenmo, and this dream is a walking simulator. The main gimmick here is that there are green orbs that teleport you to random coordinates, and eventually I ended up in this area which has the pie hiking place. This is important because in the badge section there are 3 badges that include pie hiking. If you don't know, pie hiking is basically an old style obbying with a pie that you can throw and stick to a surface and parkour off of it. So I took the pie and went to the training area. The course was fairly easy, and at the end it gave me the novice pie hiking badge. During this time I was confused why I haven't gotten the most achieved badge yet, but reading the description again, I finally realized that you just need to get mountains of odd studs, so it's probably just to have your stud in the negatives. So since dying in this game subtracts your stud, I did exactly that. And when I woke up, it gave me a badge getting us closer to the goal. I logged off after this, and when I logged back in the other day, I was surprised that the pie is actually a permanent item which makes many areas accessible, so I started to explore many things like this tree which gave me a mug skin, or this area that teleported me to the past and had to literally fight myself. But most importantly, when I was in Tenmo's walking simulator ice area, I stumbled across a shark, but I had no way to get there. So this time, with the power of the pie, I think I might be able to get there. Upon entering, I get a badge and there's an NPC inside called Old Nicky that apparently is a former Fisher worker. Fisher, from what I know, is like this organization in Dream Game, but that's about it. I also got a net after rejoining that can be used to collect many things, including gubbies.
I have an idea! Release the goobies!
Gooby this, gooby that, Scooby server, gooby lamb, boob Wi-Fi, gooby RAM, booby steak, gooby ham, Asian gooby from Japan, now I'm goobing with my friends.
Now the goobies are going ham!
At this point, the dreams were repeating and some of them just doesn't give any value, and I was having trouble trying to get a badge until I remembered something. Tenmo told me that green orbs have teleporting properties. So how come red orbs don't do anything? In a game like this, there's no way something would exist without purpose, and it clicked. That one crystal from Pink Swamp. The description said that it would give a signal if it's close to an activation area. So I tried it, and it does. The crystal glows when it's close to an orb. So what if combining a red orb and taking the crystal from Pink Swamp creates a new orb? At the peak, there was another red orb, which means that I'm stuck.
Say you swear to God! Say you swear to God! Put that on Allah! Say put that on Allah! Say wallahi! wallahi, bro. Say wallahi.
So this time, I brought my friend to activate the first orb for me, and I activated the second orb, which brings us to another sub-dream called Autumnal Resolute. This area doesn't have much to offer other than clues, lore, some puzzles, and a ship that costs 40,000 studs, which does absolutely nothing. Basically a complete scam. There's also a dungeon.
Is that a gooby?
Gooby this, gooby that, gooby server, gooby land, gooby Wi-Fi, gooby RAM, steak, gooby ham, Asian gooby from Japan. Now all my goobies are going ham.
But unfortunately, we couldn't figure out how to enter, so we will get back to that later. But there is something that helped us achieve another badge. You see, in this dream, there's Yunoya selling a giant sword for 32,000 studs. Oh my goodness. This looks sick, dude. Exactly. Finally being able to attack, I decided to go back to Outpost 18, which was my first dream and the only one with enemies. After killing them a couple of times, they actually drop an item, which is a keycard. This is obviously used in the maze that has a keycard swiper, so I did that, and there was a mechanism inside that we turned on, which activated this secret area outside and rewarded us a badge and a permanent lantern. This is gonna be so helpful because some areas are just pitch black and you can barely see anything. With pie hiking growing into me because of the matrix area, I decided that I want to get the intermediate pie hiking badge. In the description, it says that we need to represent the Saint Eleonora team for clearance in the pie hiking competition. Luckily, I know where this is. It's located inside of Pink Swamp in Richardson's house, and you just click on this poster that will teleport you to the competition. What you need to do is pretty straightforward. You just need to win 5 times in the competition, and you already know I'm the best pie hiker. This badge also awarded me with pie skins unique to every contestant I beat, which looks very nice, and there's also a pie skin. Get it? I'm so fun. Now you see, in Richardson's house, there's a game other than pie hiking, which is King of the Hill. This is a great find since one of the badge description literally says that to get it, you need to achieve 200 points in King of the Hill. So obviously I joined the game, and honestly, for the badge rarity, it shouldn't be as easy as this. After this, I was kind of lost, so I looked up the wiki to find out how to get one of the most achieved badges that I haven't gotten yet, called Repercussions of Fisher. But because I still didn't understand, I ended up searching it up on YouTube because the hints on the wiki are just too vague. What you need to do is finish the pool game in Tenmo fast enough so that a hatch will open in the bathroom. You can then knock the cue ball out of the billiard table by striking into this odd wall which has one different stud that actually has no collision. Then you want to get the cue ball to get into the hatchet, which is a pain by the way. After you get it in, the locked door in the billiard room will open that contains 3 cats for you to collect. I honestly don't know how someone figured this out. After this, you want to go to the Graveyard Sea, go to the island, take out your cat, dye it black with a gumball, and use it as a keycard to open the door with chests inside that grants you a badge and a slingshot. I genuinely cannot believe how this badge has around 60,000 winners, and I have gotten the ones with less than 20,000. Just right after this, I got myself roller skates from a quest in Outpost 18. Remember those pickaxes? Yeah, they're supposed to be used for a quest, but I didn't know how to start it before, so that's why the dialogue was confused. The roller skates can be used to ride railings, which is definitely one of the most fun traversal methods. Right now you might be wondering, wouldn't it be very hard to get badges that require you to enter multiple dreams? Well, that would be the case if the game didn't have quality of life that lets you force the dream that you will get. You see, just right next to our house, there's 3 pawns with numbers on a sign that you can change. A specific combination triggers a ringing bell sound that will force the next dream that you will have. To find the codes, they are scattered in your house, but it's not really that difficult to find. Once you have found them, they will be displayed just outside your bedroom so you can always remember. If this feature does not exist, this game would be a torture to play. At this stage of the game, the badges are getting quite tricky to get, and figuring them out by simply playing the game would take forever, so I started looking at hints on the wiki and I noted the badges that I think I might be able to deduce. With the remaining 14 badges to collect, there's currently 3 badges where I'm confident that I can figure out. The first is Death Wielded with around 24,000 victors. The second badge is Killing Machine 1991 with 40,000 victors, and the third one would be What Poets Used to Know having 46,000 victors. Now I will give you my reasoning on why these badges are my picks. In the wiki, Death Wielded has 2 hints. The first one saying the writing is on the walls and we've all been counting towards it. At first glance, this doesn't really give you much information until you look at the second hint, which gives a YouTube link that leads to this video. Now connecting what's in hint 1 with hint 2, there's exactly one thing that you can count and is on a wall, the repose counter until 1000. But now that we know, what do we do about it? Well, as far as I know, there has only been one mechanic in the game that's close to something like a counter. Remember this thing that lets me donate my repos at the start of the game? Yeah, I'm gonna gamble all my repos with this and I only have one shot. But wait, you might be wondering, how the heck did you get all the reposes? Isn't repos supposed to be achieved one at a time every time you wake up? So wouldn't that take forever? You're right, but remember those presents I told you? Well, they reward you a lot of reposes, so it gave me plenty every time, which made it possible for me to get 1000. So let's start donating. After 1000 donates, it didn't give me anything. I got kinda scared, but luckily, when I went back to bed to wake up, it gave me the badge, but something is different on the island.
Come out, kid. Prove you're worth your team color. Hell yeah!
This badge awarded me a sack that you can explode to see the past, and the other variant gives studs to other people. But most importantly, it gave me a blue crowbar variant that lets you create a checkpoint. This has to be one of the best quality of life ever in the game because it's gonna save so much time on certain areas. Moving on to our next badge, I will try to get the Killing Machine 1991. Just like that wielded, this badge also has 2 hints. The first one being aquatic voyages give way to important tasks, and the second being give in to the hammer's demands. Now all I could think of was that it has to be connected with the ocean lab because that's the only dream I know that's aquatic in the game. And to be honest, it's one of the dreams that I didn't get the chance to fully explore because I explored it before I had the pie. So it's very possible that I can get something new. And actually, there's one thing that I didn't show earlier in the video because I thought it would be insignificant. But after reading the second hint, give in to the hammer's demands, it changes everything. You see, when I first explored Ocean Lab, there was this building that has a hammer symbol inside. I thought this was meant to be broken, so I tried everything I could, but it just didn't work. So now I will come back for a rematch. Because there's like an object.
Oh, you know that we're underwater right now, right?
Oh, wait.
So I thought this is gonna be. Oh fuck!
Yes.
Oh, I flung out the map again.
Good thing you have the crowbar. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
I'll wait for you.
good
I'll
thing
wait
I
for
have to. I flung out the.
you. Dude, I told you just get up here. Don't be impatient. Okay, what is this?
Something inside there.
Oh, there is. There is a hammer. What? And there it was, the hammer. When you press Q, it says the hammer wails for the heads of living Robloxians. This perfectly correlates to the second hint that tells you to give into the hammer demands. So maybe it wants me to beat up people, so I tried that with the only humanoid I know, but it wasn't working. So I looked up the wiki on how to find enemies and well, I'm kinda stupid. Turns out, you just need to play well in that so that the mafia would spawn. This is also when I found out that they're basically working for Yunoya because one of them is called Yunoya's right-hand man. After learning about the Dead World, I continued to keep smashing them and eventually, something changed with my hammer. You unlock the skill, Stun Circle. Oh my god. Oh! Yo, that's tough, dude. Although the hammer was very OP, it's unfortunate that the ability is limited. On to our next badge, what poets used to know. This badge yet again has two hints. The first one being, a man of Fisher will only enjoy his own product. And the second hint being the greatest convenience a restaurant can offer is a treat from one's head. After reading both of the hints, it kind of makes sense already. A man of Fisher is obviously Old Nicky inside the shark, but what about the product that we need to get? Well, since it mentioned restaurant in the second hint, there only exists one that is located in Outpost 18. So I took a look around finding secret areas and I found a soda hat with Fisher written on it. So I figured that this would be the item that you need since it's also something that you use on your head. After bringing the item to Old Nicky, he dialogues and changed the entire world outside of the shark. And of course, there was a red orb, so I had to come back for a second time. Are you kidding me? Another crystal. Ah. Take the hat, buddy. Take the hat, come on, buddy. Oh yeah. This old part is absolutely annoying. Once I activated it, it caused the next dream to be the garden. The dream area is set in nature and I instantly noticed something similar. There's this long cylinder that's probably a spiral staircase which is connected to the badge image being a spiral staircase, although it's not exactly the same color. Before going to the stairs, I explored the area first and found creatures that gave me an ability. But aside from that, there's nothing else worth mentioning. So finally, I started going up the stairs. It took me a decent amount of time and when I reached the peak, it gave me the badge. This badge also gave me a permanent item which is the railbow that creates railings for me to ride with the skates. This is literally one of the best items because the amount of time you save with this during exploration is just insane. After this badge, I'm starting to notice that the red orbs have a pretty good chance of giving a badge since the last two I explored did help me get a badge. So I will now start exploring more of these orbs that take me into other dreams that you call death dreams. Basically, the dreams that you get into by simply going to bed are called surface dreams such as Ocean Lab, Outpost 18, Pink Swamp, Tenmo, Volcanic Heights, and Graveyard Swamp. I haven't talked about Volcanic Heights and Graveyard Swamp that much because they're just quite random and didn't really give much information. However, the ones that you get into while inside the dream are called sub-dreams or death dreams, such as Autumnal Resolute or the Garden. So I will be exploring all red orbs that I came across before but didn't really pay much attention since I had to make sure that I'm fully prepared, unlike the first one I explored by getting items I could get from surface dreams. Now there are a number of red orbs that I haven't told you. The first one is located in Tenmo on top of the spruce tree. The second one is located in Outpost 18 near the restaurant below the map, and some of them are scattered in volcanic heights. My first target was the treetop orb, since I have spotted it earlier in my playthrough. I activated it and headed to bed. It triggered the Dying Mall dream, easily one of my favorite maps for its aesthetic that feels like a liminal space. Although it's filled with seemingly useless items, but in a game like this, layered with secrets, you never truly know what might be important later on. The way you explore this dream is by going up the floors, but at some point, the escalators disappear and you would have no way to explore the upper floors. But unfortunately for them, I have a railbow and roller skates. On my journey to the top, it looks like the mafia is around, but I'm not getting attacked since I'm not in debt. But it's still just the same useless shops over and over, except for the very top one, which has a little secret. There's nothing in the shop except for the switches brew. Wait, hold on. Why is that tile just white? Of course. I know it. This game, it gets obvious, bro, I swear. Interact? I cannot even interact with... Hold on, that was not there. What is that? Oh my goodness. Is that a secret area? What the fuck? What the f... Oh, okay. Interact button. A website access key. Perhaps there's something good out of this place. What is right there though? It looks like the mafia ordered a hit on someone. They sent the request to this website called Down the Lake. Wait a minute. Oh my god. The person to be killed is Ryan Newville. He's one of the survivors of Gallus bombings. Not that I shouldn't intervene. If it was not the case, but damn, I must do something. I should use Richardson's computer. I hope he doesn't mind. Oh, okay. Since it told me to use Richardson's computer to get to an area called Down the Lake, I'm going back yet again to Pink Swamp and go to Richardson's house to get there. So this time, it said that I need to use the computer. It's not King of the Hill, it's not props for sale. What is this? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Down the lake, perfect, okay. This will teleport you, okay, sure. Ooh. What is that? Access key, this was used to join this session. There's something written on it. Find uneven objects. Silver net? Oh, so there's level 2 nets, okay. Hold on, this one has a different color. There we go. Okay, you hear something outside. 5982. 5982. You hear something outside again. Okay. I should get rid of the bots first. And that's free. There we go. I should just find where to click to extract it. Oh, oh. so tired of computers inside computers. Okay, the request has been fully deleted. I left no traces, so even if the cops show up, they won't find out about this. I better get out. Oh, a badge! Oh, it just teleported me again. At the end of the exploration and the badge, it seems that it awarded me with some kind of ending, but honestly, it's just Nash and Unoya goofing off, so it's not really that important. Putting that to the side, this badge gave me a hacking tool for vending machines and also gumball machines. But it also gave me information that might be very crucial later on in the game. When I got teleported, it spawned me with some items and one of them is the net, but it's no ordinary net. It's a silver net, which means that there's upgrades to certain items. This is confirmed by a badge description that says that you need to upgrade 2 iconic items in one session. And maybe a silver net could possibly open up that one dungeon that I couldn't enter before. But before I'm gonna try to get the new items, I'm going to finish my current mission first, which is to explore red orbs. The next red orb I activated was the one located in Outpost 18 and it teleported me to a place called Tamura. This one, unlike the others, are quite useless, except for this permanent upgrade. It's just a place to chill, try random stuff, but other than that, there's not much to see here. The next orb I activated was the one in Volcanic Heights. There's 4 orbs in this stream, so I started with the one at the very bottom here, which teleported me to a place called Heraclea Depths. Here, the first thing that caught my eye was a shopkeeper, and this one actually sells expensive items that sound great, but I cannot buy them unless I finish something called the Noden Trials. And it's actually put right next to it, so I'm gonna attempt to beat it. Turns out it's another pie hiking course, although this one is a little bit more challenging. After completing all 4 courses, it gave me the Certified Pie Hiker badge with around 11,000 winners. This is quite surprising to me as it wasn't really that hard, but I'll take it. I explored the rest of the orbs and they're quite meaningless, but you can say that it's interesting visually. Now that I'm done with the orbs, I will try to find how to upgrade the net to a silver net. I re-explored a couple of dreams and during my search, I found something else instead. Wait a minute. Did you guys see that? There could be something here. Oh my goodness. What? Oh. What about the other one? Oh my goodness. This is why I love Dream Game, bro. It teleported me to another area that's still in Tenmo containing an NPC called John Blue Parish. What's interesting about him is that he actually offered me to upgrade my slingshot in exchange for a cold soda. But before I had to get the soda, of course I had to explore the area first, and turns out there's a computer that teleports me to another area called the Snowbanks Net. In this area there consists caves, each one having a little challenge that gives you keycards at the end with the color of green and blue. There's also a facility that you can break into by destroying the glass with cracks. This is quite some unfortunate news for me because I went past so many cracks not knowing what I had to do. I always tried breaking them with my hammer, but it didn't work because either the hitbox was weird or I had to swing multiple times. Anyways, back to the facility. It has a lot of office rooms with different names written on it, but everything's empty. After you wander around, you will eventually come across an employee's room that require keycards to enter. pink, green, and blue. So that means I'm missing one of them, so I had to go out, explore again, and get the keycard. When I got it, I came back and it opened access to a room containing a checker-like puzzle, alongside lockers and a picture of the lockers. After thinking for a bit, I come to the conclusion that the white circle represents the lockers without any dots on them, and the black circle represents the lockers with the black dots. This is confirmed by the picture that's probably trying to say that this is where you want to solve the puzzle. So now it's time to count. Okay, so it's bottom left, second right, hard left, bottom left, second right, hard left, hard left again, and second right, bottom left, second right, hard left, second right. Bottom left, second right, hard left, second right. Did I get it wrong? I checked the lockers again and it turns out I was just short of one black circle. When I finished the puzzle, the game says that the admin room has opened, so I went there and found some lore about this place in the past and a device that contains the location of old Ghost installation, and it also gave me a badge. As of this recording, Ghost is still an upcoming area, and look who came here. The one and only Mafia boss. After returning from Snowbank's Nat, I went ahead to hack vending machines for sodas, hoping to get a cold one so I can give it to John Blue Parish for the slingshot. After I got one, I had to wait for his yap session again, but after some time, he finally gave me the slingshot. Since I got the weaponized slingshot, I decided that I wanted to find another item upgrade, since there's a badge where you need to upgrade 2 items in one session, and I'm almost certain that the slingshot won't be permanent anyway. So obviously, my next item I'm looking for to upgrade is the silver net. You see, bought Snowbank's net and down the lake gave me silver net when I got teleported. Not just that, the silver net has a description saying it's powered by the Pumpkin Gate. This Pumpkin Gate is actually located in Volcanic Hills, so I went there and I activated it. When it was activated, it showed 2 progress bars, 0 out of 13 and 0 out of 37. I was not in the mood to find out about this, so I just used the wiki, and what you need to do is net 13 hats and 37 empty soda cans.
500 cigarettes.
After turning them in, it turned my net into a silver net, and when I went back to Windy Island, it awarded me the badge each day better than the last. Now that I have the silver net, I went to the dungeon entrance in Autumnal Resolute that I previously couldn't enter because there were guards guarding the entrance. When I got back to the dungeon, sure enough, the net was able to open the gate. Inside, there was a cave, and when you go deeper, you will get teleported to a maze. However, it was very easy since I just shift locked my way through it. At the end of the maze, you end up in an area with zombies trying to beat you up. You also find a lost person who asks you for help to get back their red key. The key was taken by someone or maybe a group of people who are probably Fisher. To continue exploring, you have to find 6 cursed objects with purple color that will grant you access to another area, and it reveals that the culprit is Simon or Simeon, I don't know. When you finally beat him, he will drop a red key, and when you pick it up, you'll instantly get teleported back to the lost person, and after some dialogues, she will return you to the surface and award you the badge called the Waking Sword. This badge awards you with a sword, and well, it's pretty good, and the wiki says that it can actually be used as a keycard. It can be used to access a new area in Ocean Lab, which leads you to the inside of the ship, which is the actual lab. When you finish certain things in Dream Game, sometimes it will decorate your house with different things, but I never bothered with them because most of the time it's just cosmetics that you can't really do anything with. However, after getting the badge called the Waking Sword, it added this keycard that you can interact with, and it will generate a ringing bell sound. This means that the next dream that you will have is going to be unique. So after going to bed, it teleported me to a dream called Little Big World. Honestly, this reminds me a lot of Pixel Gun. When you explore this dream, you'll eventually find the spider's den, which has bugs inside that are trapped. Each bug gives you a hint for the objective that you will need to do, which is destroying the spider webs. They told me to get a bug soda can to be used for my slingshot ammunition, and they are found in the bug settlement. So after getting some of them, I destroyed the webs one by one. Once I destroyed every single one, a text appears that says a passage near the fridge has been opened. So of course, I went there. The crystal whispers to sleep again. Oh, I get a badge. Here's to I. Perhaps I could invoke it. Is the game saying that I can activate this crystal? Okay, I'm just gonna type to sleep again. Oh wait, this will teleport you. Okay, yes. Inheritance. The dream I just got teleported to was called Inheritance, and well, it's just another lore dream which is nothing special, but if you wanna see it, you can always play Dream Game. Before we are down to the very obscure badges, we still have one more obvious badge that's in the way, but surprisingly, the winner count is relatively low. But at this point, we all already know it's probably something that requires skill like pie hiking. So from the hint, it says the old maintainer may have gotten some terminal working again. Of course, the maintainer is the person that resides in the shark, which is old Nikki. So I went there, checked everything to see if I can interact with something, and sure enough, I was able to interact with this green device and it teleported me to a golf minigame. The stages afterwards are not easy, but not that hard either. They start to have more unique properties and can take quite some time to finish, but it was nothing overwhelming. As the stages progress, I was quite doubtful because the description of the badge that I'm trying to get says, be lectured by Yunoya on how to terminate sleepwalkers. But so far, there hasn't been anything that's correlated to Yunoya. I still kept going, and after 20 stages and about 30 to 40 minutes, I reached the end and there was young old Nikki. We had a little chat and it teleported me back to the shark and Yunoya was there. Then she proceeds to lecture on how to terminate sleepwalkers. Just after the lecture, we were awarded the badge Anti-Chatter. With Anti-Chatter out of the way, we are down to the heavy hitters. Although they're not exactly hard to get, figuring them out is difficult, and that's what everything is about in this game. And these badges are the ones that you cannot get by simply just exploring. There's some specific things that you need to do before you can get them. There are a total of 6 badges: Cautionary Tale, 5, Self-Pilot, Patterns of Chaos, More of This Desolate World, and Return to Axis. All these badges, in my opinion, have the most fake hints. The one with the most winners is called 5, so I will try to attempt that first. The badge has 3 hints. Hint 1, pay attention to the red whispers. Hint 2, repeat only what is spoken to you. And hint 3, today I picked up an old hat. I have no idea what's about hint 1 and 2, but fortunately, I know a little bit about hint 3. The phrase I picked up an old hat is actually found in Dream Game 2015. Now to get there is simple. At the peak of Volcanic Heights, there's an object that teleports you to Dream Game 2015. However, I did explore this earlier during my gameplay, but I didn't explain quite enough because I thought there was only one dream possibility, which is where you go to a portal and meet this guy that's absolutely angry at you because apparently we took his role. Considering that this is old Dream Game and we're playing new Dream Game, the role that we took might be his role of the main character. But that's not the only dream here. There are many other dreams that are quite funky. I got lucky before getting the unique dream first try, so that's why I didn't bother with this. Back to the guy that you meet, it transforms to you and forces you to fight. You have no option but to attack and you will ultimately die and get kicked. You see, just before you get teleported to meet this guy, the dream with the portal has a text on top saying, I picked up an old hat. This is verbatim with the hint 3, suggesting that something here or the next dream is the badge 5. However, the problem with this is that this is hint number 3, not hint number 1 or number 2. So that means it's the last stage or something that you do at the end just before getting the badge, because the hints for badges are in chronological order to make sure that you have the right requirements to get it. So even knowing the third hint, it's still difficult as I don't know the base to get it. So after a lot of thinking and looking at the text, I got an idea that's worth trying. Although I still don't understand what hint 1 is, because I've never seen or heard anything that's a red whisper. But for the second hint, repeat only what is spoken to you, means that it could be a chant or evoking something, just like what we did with the red crystal to teleport us to a dream. But you might be asking, how can you even know what's the chant if you don't know the red whispers? Well, you see, in the wiki, there's this list of commands. Now in the Dream Game wiki, there's this command page, and there's something unique here. Obviously, it's not removed commands because, well, they're not in the game. And it's also not admin commands because, well, I'm not an admin. And it's definitely not face commands too because it's just emojis or just changes your face. So what about something in the normal commands? You see, there's quite a lot here, but everything that's from this side all the way to this is insignificant. They're not really that useful, but there's something unique. You see, just after this gift command, there's to sleep again. Now, if you remember, to sleep again is the one we used in front of the crystal to send us to the inheritance tree. And, well, it requires the Here's to I badge. But just next to sleep again, there's something called Bloxen. Bloxen sends you to Bloxen. Unlike Sleep Again, this one doesn't have any requirements. You see here, it has the requirement Here's to I. So maybe Bloxen can teleport us to Bloxen anywhere. So obviously, we're gonna try it right now. Bloxen. No way. Yes. Holy shit, it's so dark. Oh, this is like a public server. There's 3 people here. Can barely see anything, holy. I'm just gonna follow that guy. For a moment I thought that was like the gimmick of this stream where there's like my clone and other stuff. But apparently not. Yeah, this looks like the way. Just a little bit of parkour. For some reason, they're saying numbers in the chat. Is it like some kind of code? Okay, so that's 1. Okay, that's 4 over there. They're not even saying 4 in the chat. Hey, it's just me now. They all left. Is this some kind of code? Is that why they're typing in the chat? There's something down there. I think that code on top is like what opened this area right here. I think it's global, I see. That's why. Oh, wait. This is the hat of the guy. The guy that's like angry at us. Should I go back? Yeah, I should go back. I'm coming back for you. How dare you come to my resting place after you took my role? It is our role to be ready. Was only chosen. Damn the world, damn you. Oh, he just got cooked this time. I got the badge. This badge awarded me with the ability to examine entities, which is pretty neat. You can observe random objects and they might say something. After this, I looked at the badge called Cautionary Tale. I did not understand anything except seek shelter from a blast. So I started re-exploring some dreams, but didn't find anything until I went to Ocean Lab that reminded me of a blast. Well, as you can see, I got nuked again even though I didn't touch anybody. So was the explosion at the very start of the game luck? I have went to Ocean Lab many times, but the only time it exploded was when I first got here and clicked the button. Because of that, I have never dared to touch that button again, but you're telling me that the button wasn't the cause. So what could possibly be going on here? Well, you see, Dream Game have small things that can happen by RNG, like Nostara sneezing when you play or just other stuff in general. So maybe, in this case, Ocean Lab specifically has a Dream variant. After this theory, I started to compare the typical Ocean Lab and the Ocean Lab where everything explodes. And as expected, something very noticeable is different. In the normal Ocean Lab, the sky would be clear light blue color. However, in both of the Ocean Lab that exploded, the sky was dark blue. So now, to connect to this badge, how do we seek shelter from the blast? That would be hiding inside the lab, so let's try that. Oh wait, this is it, we got it. I hope you're safe here. Oh, it teleported. Why does this guy have a bomb next to him? Okay. Because of how simple this badge is, unfortunately, it awarded me with nothing. The next badge I went for is Stealth Pilot. The first hint says, "You're tired, drink some coffee." So I did exactly what the hint says and kept the mug just in case. The second hint says, patience and tears. Although I don't know what exactly patience here means, I can tell that this tears is the stuff that Yunoya drops at the restaurant if you eat the cheeseburger. There's actually a hint to this where in the middle of Tenmo, there's a statue that will cry if you activate it, and it's also holding a cheeseburger, which is a direct reference to Yunoya crying when we eat one in front of her. What you wanna do with the tears is simply collect them with the cloud mug. For the last hint, it says, your memories need to cool off. With my experience of playing Dream Game, I already have a solid answer on what this means. When you combine hint 1 and hint 2, it's basically having the mug filled with Yunoya's tears. And as hint 3 says that we need to cool off our memories, this mug is what will be used to cool it off. It sounds weird at first because memory doesn't have a physical form that we can just cool, but this is Dream Game. So the only form of memory here is Dream Game 2015. Now if you remember from our recent batch 5, the entrance to all Dream Game is actually a block of fire which resembles the anger of the guy in the memory. So the only obvious answer here is that we will use the mug on the block of fire. When I entered, it teleported me to a dream with nothing except for this NPC. Now the unique thing about this guy is that he takes an eternity to finish his dialogue, but luckily, you can skip it by clicking on the answer before it even loads. However, the last dialogue is unskippable, so it takes quite some time. After he's done speaking, I get the badge, Stealth Pilot. This badge awarded me with a pie skin and increased my max HP along with my walk speed. After obtaining Stealth Pilot, I am finally left with only 3 badges. But these badges are so confusing to the point where the first winners are actually displayed on the badge. I don't know if there are hints when the badges are first released, because if they don't, it actually takes so much time to figure them out, because it's just absurd. Now out of the three, I find that more of this desolate world is easier to figure out, and the winner count does not lie. So I will be attempting that. The first hint says to imbue upon the elementally lacking. The second hint says color only ever had meaning in the past, and the third hint literally only says air. To figure this out, we need to first know what does the first hint mean. So out of everything that I've come across in Dream Game, there is only one thing that I found which can be called elementally lacking. You see, in Tenmo's hub, there are 4 compartments containing crystals. Each compartment has a unique amount of crystals and color. One has 4 with green color, one has 3 with blue color, one has 2 with yellow color, and the last one with only 1 crystal does not have any color, which is odd. So it can also mean that it's lacking elementally. If I was given the chance to guess what the color would be, I would answer red because they are the most common colors. Not only that, these 4 colors are the most common combinations used, and you can see them in things like Kahoot, Uno, or even Google, which all have red, green, blue, and yellow as their main colors. So now that the color would most likely be red, how are we supposed to give the crystal color? As far as I know, there are a couple of ways to give objects color, such as gumballs and slingshots, so I will be experimenting on that. No way. What is that sound? Stop, get away from me. When the crystal obtained its color, it generated a sound that I've never heard before. And when I went to sleep, I was teleported to another dream, which means that it's similar to the ringing bell sound. I got curious on what the sound truly is, and it turns out it's a green light that you will enter an abyssal dream. As you know, there are multiple dream types like surface dreams and depth dreams, but the one I just entered is classified as an abyssal dream. Apparently, this is the rarest type of dream and only a few exist, each one having a difficult requirement to get. The abyssal dream I'm currently in is called Frozen Edge, which is just a massive wall of ice with nothing but a structure that I can see quite far away. After pie hiking for a bit, I entered the building, which instantly gave me the badge without doing anything, and it kind of explains the badge third hint saying just air. After obtaining the badge here, there's nothing else to do but explore the endless wall of ice. The first and most reasonable thing to do here is go up, and there exists a sign which points to a place called Hospitality, even though this is the Frozen Edge. The other arrow points to elsewhere, and that's the direction I first went. At some point when following the arrow, the ground just loses collision and there's just a tiny ledge for us to stand. There's nothing here except for this giant egg shape which contains something that looks like a house. I tried everything to get there, like pie hiking on these blocks which are not possible, and I even tried to go up these spiral structures, but it's just not possible. So instead of trying to get to the house, I went ahead to just find the end of the wall. On my way there, I found a checkerboard that does nothing, and when I finally reached the end, there is absolutely nothing, although the structures in the background still goes on. After this badge, we are down to only 2 badges, and the one I will be going for is Patterns of Chaos. This badge has 3 hints. Cracks take form from up above, but few notice those underwater. In spite of the gloomy atmosphere, talkative locals can brighten up your world. And lastly, one element is not natural, neither are dyes. Together, they forge a new path. From the hints, you can assume that this badge takes place in Graveyard Sea because of it mentioning a gloomy atmosphere and underwater. You could debate that this might be Ocean Lab, but in my opinion, Graveyard Sea is more gloomy and it has more locals compared to Ocean Lab. Following hint 1, I went to the highest point possible, which requires some pie hiking, so that maybe I can see some cracks, but I didn't really find anything close to a crack. However, there exists this red spiral of letters that you can only see at a certain angle. This thing isn't exclusive to this dream, but since I found nothing else, I used it as my guidance. Since I didn't find any crack from up above, I have no idea how to find them underwater, so I decided to just move on to the next hint. When talking about locals in Graveyard Sea, there are 3 volcanoes with unique colors, housing balls that you can interact with that will respond with Ola. What the hint says about these guys is that they can brighten up your world. Since they're placed in the middle of the ocean, you need to use a boat if you want to move them to other places. So I bought one and planned to take one of each color. However, something unexpected happened. Oh, wait a second. Oh. I did not see that before. There's like a faint ball. What the hell is this? What? I was just about to go to the red volcano and I saw this. As you can see, I accidentally activated something, and this accident caused me to basically skip a step in the puzzle, but me at that time didn't know it yet. Wait, there's another one. It's like circling the main island. This one's quite hard. It doesn't work again. How come does it not work? Wait, hold on. I'm gonna check if my blue balls are gone. Because if it's gone, that means the blue balls are used. And it appears to be that they are actually used. So I think we just need the blue balls. When the sphere got activated, a local with the color matching the sphere was taken away. And when I found the other spheres, not everyone can be activated. And the ones that did were colored blue, which is the locals that I brought when trying to go for the others. I tried the other locals, but it still didn't activate. To be honest, I was quite lost here because I thought it would be simple, but then I got reminded about the third hint. One element is not natural, neither are dyes. Together, they forge a new path. You get it? So basically, since I tried all the colors provided to me and it didn't activate all the spheres, it means that I need to have a color that is not naturally given to me, and it's suggesting that we need to dye the locals. With previous experience, we know that to dye things in Dream Game, we can use the gum pellets, just like how I dyed the cat that one time. Okay, so now that we know what to do, how the heck are we supposed to know which color to dye it? Because this game has a ton of selection, trying one by one would of course be annoying. But from past experiences, we know that Dream Game is obsessed with the color red, green, blue, and yellow. We literally can see it on the pillars here. Since the only one that's missing is yellow, obviously I dyed them yellow, and it activated the rest of the spheres. When every single one was activated, it created the star pattern and also added a new island right over there. On the island, there are dead bodies, and if you interact with them, it will appear in your inventory. In the middle of the island, there's an orb with a color I haven't seen before, and if you interact with it, it says that it needs to be activated. So I assume that this is one of the red orbs but not activated yet. It seems that we are tasked to bury the body, and each one of the bodies have a description where they want to be buried. This also finally explains why the dream is called Graveyard Sea. I quickly buried most of the bodies one by one, but after some time, I was stuck on this last person that's said to be the captain. I searched almost the entirety of Graveyard Sea and still couldn't find his burial. So I read the description again, which says that we need to reflect to his position, which is the captain, the highest rank one could get in sailing. I finally realized that there is only one peak in Graveyard Sea, which is the floating islands. So I had to pie hike again, and sure enough, it was there. After all the bodies were buried, the orb on the island turned red and finally be able to be activated. It then teleported me to a dream called Lasmosony. I honestly was surprised that it's not an abyssal dream but a normal death dream. Inside, you first need to climb your way out of this box, which leads you to a view with other blocks and rotating stuff. This place is filled with hostile enemies which killed me once, but luckily, the next time I got there, they were not aggroing me for some reason. In this place, one thing stands out than the rest, which is this giant chain in the air. So with nothing else to do, I tried everything to get to that chain. There was no way for me to pie hike, and the only chance I can get there is by using the railbow. However, due to the range being so far away, it's incredibly difficult for the rail to even stick. I tried this for quite some time and it just doesn't work, so I went to another structure which looks like it's closer but it has gaps on the floor which can make you fall. Ideally, you want to stick it on a wall where you can land on something when you fall down. So if the chain doesn't have a landing spot, how are we supposed to get there? Don't worry, because I am a master at this, and there is a technique that can be used to solve this problem. Now the thing about the railbow is when there is a big structure or any structure that blocks you from going to the endpoint, it will make you stuck forever, and you can even equip the pie. Now what we need to do is get that perfect railbow where it's stuck inside the chain. And fortunately, it happened earlier than expected. Now that I'm finally on the chain, my way was only up and it was not a short distance. As I climbed further up, a red cloud started to appear and it has collision. I kept going up, this time using the railbow because it saves time, and finally, at the peak, a book awaits you, and if you read it, you will obtain the badge Patterns of Chaos. I quickly head out to use the chessboard and then gained 200,000 organic studs by traveling to the Matrix, which I later stored in the bank. After gathering all those obscure badges, I was finally left with just one last badge, Return to Axis. The hints for this one are completely cryptic. How much I desire to meet the creator of Dreamsphere. I have to make myself pure, and reflect on the center of myself and the axis. I knew the axis meant heading to the ballroom because I know that's the only dream where it has an axis, but what on earth did the game mean by making myself pure? Well, since I wasn't able to figure this out, I opened the wiki to find the exact steps on how to obtain the badge, and oh boy, the game requires you to do a bunch of things. To be considered pure in Dream Game, you cannot perform any actions that promote greed or just having a lot of experience. This translates to a strict and permanent checklist, which are: you must have 10 or fewer rebirths, your repose counter must be under 32, you cannot own the badge Born Enemy of Reality, you cannot kill or capture any NPCs, you are banned from visiting the mall, you cannot eat junk food like hot dogs and sodas. If you break any of these, you are locked out from getting the badge until you rejoin. Keep in mind that they can delete your progress no matter how close you are to getting the badge. The highlighted ones are temporary and you will always be clean every time you join the game, because if not, almost everyone would already be ineligible. So I went ahead to make myself pure. Now that I'm pure, I cannot simply just go to the axis yet, because there are requirements before going there which resets if you leave, and there are a total of 8 actions, but only 6 are required. They are the following: visit the Owl Dream, visit Graveyard Sea and touch your grave, read Tanya's epitaph at Volcanic Heights, drink the Power Tool bottle until it gets stuck on your nose, drink Cloud Water, use the refrigerate button at Tenmo, use tape recorder at Ocean Lab, and finally stay at Windy Island for 10 minutes. The ones I chose are highlighted and it's due to them being able to be done in the same dream, so let's get going. This is it, the final stretch. With my purity intact and the checklist complete, I reflected on the center and touched the axis. And there we go. Return to axis. That's it. That's the end of the journey. We did it. All obtainable badges in Dream Game. You know, it's kinda poetic how the last badge we got was not a progression. It wasn't like the usual badges where we need to beat something or a test of mechanical skill like pie hiking, but rather a reflection after all we've been through. Before I end this video, I just want to let you guys know that Dream Game isn't just merely a badge hunting game. There are many more things that you can do outside of badge hunting. In fact, we've only found 2 of the 4 Abyssal Dreams available, and there are also collectibles you can get if you're dedicated enough. Of course, secrets are everywhere in this game, such as this code given to you after getting the badge 5, and many other stuff. But for now, that's all for me. If you reach to this point, you're a legend, and if you want me to do other challenges, you can simply type it in the comments.